There's story mode and there's creative mode. Now, I like the idea of going straight to creative and just making the stuff, but we're gonna do the story because I want to figure out what this game's all about. By the way, this is BLADESONG. In glowing darkness, you writhe. You cling to life by the tips of your fingers. Something takes shape in the emptiness. Contours of flesh tracing long familiar lines. A withered old woman's face floating before your own. When she speaks, she has the rasping voice of a raven. Who are you? A swordsmith? A survivor? A saint? A dying soul? Oh, you'll be addressed as male, you'll be addressed as female. Dying. Wrong. It is not yet your time. The Sundering claimed untold lives, yet you endured when so many around you perished. What did you do to survive? Ooh, I get to say who I was. Okay. I joined a band of sellswords, forging the blades used in our butchery. When the last of them died in battle, it was time for me to start over. The background grants +3 toughness and may open unique dialogue choices. Leader. We built a settlement at Oster Hall. I was their smith and their spokesperson. For many years we held out. One by one I buried them all. I plied my trade from settlement to settlement, gathering hard-won knowledge about a world that is falling apart. I was too useful to kill. I was traded back and forth as a prize between warlords who kept me chained to a forge. When I saw my chance, I escaped. Wanderer. A cold hand touches your brow. Water cools your burning throat. You kept something through all your hardships. A keepsake from a better time. What is it? Artisan's Toolkit. For a creative playstyle, grants a bundle of leathers and pigments for more creative freedom early on. A family heirloom. For a story-focused playstyle, grants a unique family heirloom passed down through prior generations of your lineage. A bottle of rare old world spirit. For an optimization-focused playstyle, grants a bottle of precious liquor to boost your progress. I'm pretty with a family. The fire's burning itself out, leaving you a damp shadow of your old self. You claw blindly in the darkness until more waters tip down your throat. What do you believe in now the voices have abandoned this world? Ambition. Humanity can rise above the voices if we learn the secrets. Continuity. I believe in small things, bread rising, seasons turning, children growing. Freedom. We're better off without voices. Without the voices, humans can adapt to anything. Compassion. Every small kindness is an act of defiance in a world without pity. Nothing matters anymore. There's peace in accepting that. Oh, these ones don't give me other. Compassion. You have it backwards. Love is what dooms your kind in the end. The world will tear out that soft heart of yours and devour it. I'll leave you with one final question, and I don't expect an answer. What will fill the silence the voices left behind? As the old woman's face retreats into inky blackness, sparks flicker into life behind her, one by one, a field of stars burning with a sickly pale light. Like seeds taking root, they twist and expand, their tendrils branching and burrowing through the darkness until they've strangled it with light. Now wake, Smith. You still have a part to play in humanity's final act. A new day has dawned. Your eyes flutter as you regain consciousness. You're faintly surprised to find yourself alive. Either death did not come for you, or when it did, it found you unyielding. You sit up, Gasping, sweat-drenched, the fever has broken. Remember. A lifetime on the road, selling your wares, sleeping under trees, learning the secrets of the world. Every year it got harder. Landmarks vanished, bridges collapsed, outposts fell to ruin. At last, you were forced to seek a sanctuary. It was a long journey to Aaron Keep, through dust and despair. Your last memories are of sliding from your dying horse, your numb legs tracking furrows in the mud as someone dragged you to shelter. But who? Outside the tent is a crude field forge, complete with an anvil. Did you crawl here to daze, or did your mysterious caretaker bring you here? Either way, the anvil gives you a feeling of home. Get your bearings. You're in a tent. There's no sign of your caretaker, apart from a half-empty water pail and a damp cloth on your brow. You peek out of the tent flap, squinting against the light. Outside, as far as the eye can see, stretches a chaotic sprawl of tents and shelters, churned mud and shallow graves. Most of your rations are gone. Your horse was already dying when the fever took you. Its body is nowhere to be seen. By now it's likely soup. You're on your own. Assess the field's forge condition. Assess the field forge's condition. It seems to have been abandoned for some time, lacking anyone with the skill to work it, but it won't require much effort to get running again, should you need to make a living out here. Hopefully it won't come to that. First you should head to the gates and try to secure entry to Aaron Keep. That's why you came here, after all. Thank you for playing BLADESONG demo. The short tutorial will teach you what you need to know. Please follow closely. Welcome to the camp, swordsmith. People will come to you with commissions. You choose which commissions to take on. Commissions refresh daily. Select the highlight button to choose your first commission. Aha, Owen. Your first customer is a gaunt man in a tattered cloak. He approaches you, noticing the anvil outside your tent. You're a blacksmith? Can you make me a sword? I've got the coin for it. Just make sure it's good and long. I don't like my enemies to be in hugging distance if you get what I mean. Right. Accept. Shh. Rotate the camera with the right mouse button. Move the camera with the middle mouse button. Customers have different requirements with which your sword must fulfill. The top left panel shows your progress towards commission requirements. Hover the cursor over the blade length requirement. Let's start shaping your blade. Click the plus button to add change length ability. You can apply light or heavy hammer hits to alter your blade. Let's start with light hits. Click on the steel billet to hammer and lengthen it. Click when the hammer is at its highest point for a heavy hit. The longer your chain of heavy hits, the more your blade changes with each hit. Ooh. There we go. Now the blade length requirement is met, let's flatten the blade. Feel free to use light or heavy hits as you please. Hold shift for even lighter hammer hits. Zoom in here. Ah. Great, your blade is complete. Click the hilt mode to start working on the hilt. Hilt mode, you have access to a library of sword parts to complete your sword. Select a guard from the library and then attach it to a slot on your sword. In hilt mode, attaching parts costs resources. Keep an eye on the resource panel to see how much you're spending. Add a grip part next. Nice. There we go. You attach your sword parts again by clicking on them. You will get your resources back, so feel free to experiment. Ability history shows all abilities have been used on the blade. You can use 3 visit abilities and edit or delete them. The number next to the applied ability shows its intensity. Editing abilities has no cost. Feel free to experiment. Press X to flip the direction of your hammering. Then hammer it. Motion is fulfilled. It's time to sell the sword. Click on the button. The man takes the sword and jabs it at his shadow. The man takes his sword and jabs it at his shadow experimentally. A slow grin crosses his face. This should do the trick. Thank you, Smith. Here's your payment. Would you accept this offer now? Yeah. Word is already spreading around the camp about the new Smith. Your next customer is a wary-looking man with a bald pate, his hollow eyes darting back and forth. Landon, I heard you come down with the wasting fever. Lucky to be alive, you are. Anyway, can you modify this sword for me? I scavenged it from the runes, but it hasn't got enough of a point to it. I want something I can stab into a thief's belly if I need to. He hands you a sword with a sharp edge but a rounded tip. As you hold it up to the light, he leans forward conspiratorially. I've had this blade 3 days, and I felt people's jealous eyes upon it. If they come forward to the night, I want to be like you. Short, sharp stab. Nice work. When you fulfill all requirements, the commission is completed and sell the sword. Bye. I can't do it. The man takes the sword, tests the point, smiling at the bead of blood that wells at his fingertip. Then he stows it away, glancing around the camp as he does so. Folks out here will take everything from you if you ain't vigilant. Keep a keen eye out, Smith. He scurries away, his back hunched as though against a non-existent downpour. When your action points are spent, it's time to end the day. If you end the day with any action points left, they will be lost, so try to use them up whenever you can. End the day. Passage into Iron Keep is barred by a colossal gate, taller than a ship's mast. It was built to withstand enemy armies, but since the Masked King's ascension, it mainly keeps out the desperate masses seeking his protection. Examine the magical barrier. Oh. It's only visible in the half-light of dawn, or when it pours with rain, a faint shimmer that rises from the walls and captures Iron Keep in a vast dome. Failure. Its origins are shrouded in mystery, but the Masked King is somehow the key to its power. The barrier is why so many travel so far to camp outside these walls. This is the reason you came here, braving countless dangers. This barrier keeps the dangers of the wastelands at bay. Approach the gate. As you approach, the portcullis rises to admit a caravan, and then chaos breaks out. The crowd swells like a rising tide. Refugees push forward, begging for entry, and the guards batter them back with their shields. The merchant wagons barrel through, their drivers using horsewhips to lash stragglers out of the way. Sneak through with the wagons. You don't get far before a guard grabs you by the shoulder and flings you down into the churned mud. Not on my watch. He gazes down at you like a fisherman disappointed with his catch. You want to enter the keep? You, a citizen, or got yourself a worker's permit? I'll be honest, no I don't. Then get out of here, applicant, and stop wasting my time. Applicant. That's the euphemism the guards use to refer to the desperate hordes camping at their gate. It has a nicer ring, you suppose, than refugee. I have skill. I'm a blacksmith.
I am the blacksmith.
Every applicant who comes here begging is a doctor or a master glassmaker or a damn alchemist. You think I was born yesterday? If you're a smith, prove it. If you just come with me, I will demonstrate my skills at my forge. Do you think I can just leave my post like that? Buzz off, little fly. Head back to your tent. You return to your tent, where your makeshift forge awaits. You're hardly at your best, working with such limited materials, but it's all you have for the time being. It won't be long before your cache of steel runs out. Since it seems you're going to be here longer than expected, you should make it a priority to find a merchant in this forsaken place. A new day has dawned. Nicely done, you finished the tutorial. From today on, you'll have more active points to spend. You won't be able to complete every commission, so pick the ones you like the sound of. The game will open up from here. Don't be afraid to explore. Here are a few resources to get you started. Wow. Skill tree. Oh. Well. Let's see here. Aria. I have 8 points altogether. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Aria, and then I'm probably going to go do Hark. A scarred woman dumps a damaged weapon on your anvil with a loud clang. Look at this useless piece of dross. I'm fed up with pretending this thing can kill a man. Think you can get it back into working order? I think so, I can, yes. Uh-oh. Oh no, that's what I want to do. I want to change the thing. Want to do that again? +3 sharpness. There we go. She hefts up with satisfaction, testing its balance. Good as new, maybe better. Why, I bet I could slice the lids from a man's eyes before he can blink. I'll accept that. I put a lot of work into that one, I did. The woman shuffles forward, her eyes rimmed and haunted. She has a sword in her hands, clearly seen years of neglect. My husband passed away a few days ago. This was his blade. I told him it needed maintenance, but he insisted it was fine. What do you think, Smith? Couldn't chop a carrot with that thing. I thought so. Could you fix it up for me? Now I'm alone. I'd like to have a weapon I can rely on. Forge. Bing, bong, bing. Change. Alright. Off. She traces the restored blade with trembling fingers, tears in her eyes. This is so much better, even to my untrained eye. It was barely worth carrying before, was it? Thank you, Smith. The customer at your forge has a greasy smile and empty eyes. I need a proper weapon, Smith. I have come to realize that you can't get far in this world with just a rusty little life. If I am to claw a decent life from this chaos, I require leverage, and in times like these, nothing provides leverage quite like a yard of sharp steel. I don't know if we'll do that. The man who approaches your forge is brooding and silent, his scarred face and shaven head lending him a skull-like aspect. When he speaks, his voice is a hollow rasp. A blade! He glares at you. You don't get the impression he's in the mood to answer questions. Woman approaches your anvil, her face gray with worry and exhaustion. She has a small boy hanging around her ankle, sucking his thumb, his hunger-hollowed face making his eyes stand out like dinner plates. You're a smith, right? You make swords? I've already lost 2 children on the road here. I can't lose another. I need something to protect him with. What happened to your other children? My eldest boy. Bandits put an arrow in him when we were crossing Nettle Bridge. I don't know why. We had nothing to steal. After that, we avoided the roads. We made our way through the deepest part of Bleak Woods, but that was a mistake. There's things in those woods. Something took my daughter, snatched her out of the tent at night. I heard her scream, but never saw. She breaks down sorry. I'm sorry. Sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Sorry I won't keep Tom safe. Only steel can do that. You ever used a sword before? No, but I'll learn. I've heard stories about what happens in the camp. People taking children, selling them, worse things. I won't let that happen to my Tom. What can you afford? I don't have much coin left, but I'll give you everything I have, whatever it takes. She glances again at her son, her voice breaking slightly. He's only 4 years old. He doesn't understand why his sister and brother aren't with us anymore. I can't. I won't lose him too, not without a fight. Alright. Okay. It's gonna have a heavy ass impact. This heavy impact is sharp. She'll offer this. She takes the sword with trembling hands, testing its weight. Her grip is uncertain, but her eyes are hard. It's heavier than I expected. She calls softly to her son, who's playing in the dirt nearby. He looks up, his fingers black with blood. Come here, Tom. Stay close to Mama. The boy runs over and clutches her leg. She rests a protective hand on his head while keeping the other on the sword's hilt. Thank you, Smith. I pray I never have to use this, but if I do, well, I think it'll do the job. Stay safe out there. It's not safe out there, Smith. None of us are safe, ever safe. But maybe I can make it a little more safe for my boy. Would you like to accept this offer now? I kinda don't want to accept it. Swords with alongst profile taper to make blades taper in width. Alongst distal taper to make blades taper in thickness. Aha. For now, though, I'll take Thomas. A desperate looking man shuffles forward, unwrapping a battered blade from a dirty cloth. I haven't taken proper care of this, been too focused on just surviving. Could you fix it? try and make it faster for him. I think this is all that he wants. He examines the repaired weapon with amazement, running his fingers along the restored steel. It's like you brought it back from the dead. I owe you, Smith. Off to bed I go. Today. Ooh, I made a lot of money that day. Yeah. Explore area keep. Navigate. Let me in! Outer gate looms over the camp, both threaten and beckon. Refugees gather, pleading for entry, while impassive guards look on, approach the gate. The guard is slouching against the ramparts, gazing out over the horizon. His heavy-lidded eyes flicker your way only when you call for his attention. Oh, what do you want? The guard sneers especially pronounced this evening. I want to enter the keep. You, a citizen, or got yourself a worker's permit? No, but I'd like to apply for a worker's permit. I'm a blacksmith and I've been plying my trade out here for a while now. Yeah, and I'm a dragon slayer. Get out of here, applicant. Back to your tent. You return to your tent where your makeshift forge awaits. You're hardly at your best working with such limited materials, but it's all you have for the time being. I'm liking this game so far. I like building swords. Salvage. Oh, gold. A weary-looking man approaches your anvil, his shoulders bowed and his eyes haunted. He's sporting a fresh black eye. I hear the strong prey on the weak. I should have accepted that long ago, and I'm tired of being counted among the weak. A good blade might change the equation. You say, I'll forge you a blade.
Fire and wind come from the sky, from the gods of the sky. But Crumb is your god. Crumb, and he lives in the earth. Once giants lived in the earth, Conan. And in the darkness of chaos, they fooled Crumb. And they took from him the enigma of steel. Crumb was angered, and the earth shook. And fire and wind struck down these giants, and they threw their bodies into the waters. But in their rage, the gods forgot the secret of steel and left it on the battlefield. And we who found it are just men. Not gods, not giants. Just men. And the secret of steel has always carried with it a mystery. You must learn its riddle, Conan. You must learn its discipline. For no one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
He takes up with a grim satisfaction, his mouth twisted into a bitter smile. Perfect. Now the next person who thinks I'm easy prey will learn otherwise. Yeah. A hunched man shuffles towards your anvil, his hands black with dirt and a shovel strapped across his back. He is as short as a child, but wide as a barrel, and he stinks of oil. I need a sword. There's a smell of the dead about you. Are you a grave digger? Someone's got to bury the dead, but it ain't pleasant work. People die every day in the camp. Fever, hunger, despair. Why do you need a blade? All sorts of scurrilous rumors circulating about this humble grave digger Smith, They say I steal from the dead. One man in particular. He thinks I took his wife's ring when I planted her in the earth, aye? Well, I ask you, what use does a dead woman have for a ring? There's supposed to be an understanding. I don't dig graves for free, and the dead are the ones who pay. Stole a ring from a dead body. Stole ain't the swordsmith. I took payment for services rendered. Same with every corpse I returned to. I can't dig for free. Man's got to pay his victuals. Sounds like a little more than a... What kind of sword are you after? Something that'll make him think twice about bothering me. He's bigger than me, but a good blade even the odds, don't it? I'm not looking for trouble, eh? Just want to be left alone and do my work in peace. Yeah, because if someone fucks with him, I'll do it. He takes the blade in his dirt-blackened hands, immediately testing its sharpness against his thumb. A thin line of blood trickles through the grime, and he grins with satisfaction. Now let that bastard come and test me, I'll split him down the middle and bury the pieces in the middle pile. Trying to see things from his perspective, he's in grief, and the ring he took might have been all he had. Nah, I'm still gonna split him down the middle if he tests me. I ain't got no sympathy. My own family's been underground for years now. All Griswold's all alone. The dead are dead. No use sniveling about it, eh? Okay, Goblin Man. End of the day. Didn't make quite as much, but it made some money. Camp. Oh, I guess I should have came here before to say hi. Outside the walls of Iron Keep, desperate souls gather in makeshift tents, pleading for entry. Scavenge for food. The tragedy of the applicant's camp is indescribable. So is the smell. There are no sewers out here, but not everyone bothers to go to the outskirts to use the latrines. Tucked away from the squalor, you find a pocket where desperation hasn't completely taken hold. Children are playing in the mud. A few scrawny chickens peck at the ground, miraculously uneaten. As you pick your way through, wary eyes track your movement from tent flaps, some calling out to alert their neighbors to the presence of a newcomer. At the center of this little commune, you find a family crouched around a huge cooking pot simmering with meats and scrounged vegetables. A little girl tosses a handful of wild herbs into the stew. Your mouth waters. Approach them. A father and mother, a gaggle of children, a grandmother with a face like an ancient apple, even a dog, rolling on its back in the dirt, tongue waggling. They're rough-looking sorts, filthy and gaunt, but you're not exactly presentable yourself these days. As you get closer, the man twitches aside his cloak to reveal a heavy wooden club. His wife's hand darts to a dagger in her belt. The dog snarls, hackles raised. They all look at you carefully, awaiting your next move. Pet the dog. The dog lifts its lips in a snarl as you approach, but at the last moment it lowers its head and allows you to scratch behind its ear. Clodo seems to like them. That's good enough for me. Introduce myself. Oh there, stranger. Name's Bennett Monder. This here's my wife Trian and her ma, Gina. I can take you through the names and the nippers too if you like, but I get a mixed up myself. The young woman smiles wanly. Withdrawing her hand from the dagger's hilt, the old woman just nods, her expression lost in a mass of wrinkles. The children cluster behind their father, peeping at you, giggling. You've already met my Clodo. He's a good boy, keeps the vultures away. With the word vultures, Bennett's expression darkens. Clodo sneezes disdainfully. Vultures. Aye. He doesn't elaborate further, but his shoulders stiffen. My nostril itches. What's in the pot? Smells incredible. It only smells good because, from the looks of you, you haven't eaten a proper meal in weeks. Come on, pull up a rock, grab a bowl. It's a hugely generous gesture. Meat out here is as precious as gold, and this man has children to feed. Sit down and enjoy their meal. It's hot and thick and rich with meat. It's the best thing you've ever tasted. For the first time in weeks, the hunger in your belly seizes its howling. Where'd you find all this food? See those big merchant caravans that come trundling through the camp every day? A box of rations fell off the back of one of those. Say it, that's some luck, ain't it? Teach me your ways. In truth, I'm not sure I could do it again. The timing was perfect, the guards were distracted, the merchants had all caught the wasting fever and could barely lift their heads. Can't rely on that kind of luck. How long have you been out here? Camping 2 months now. Every day I beg the gods to let us through, but they're not interested in the likes of us. They offered us a trade, though. They'll take our nippers in and keep them safe if Trian and I go work ourselves to death in their mines. But then who'd look after old Gita, eh? I agree, Gita wouldn't survive out here alone. Aye, that's the truth of it. So we're stuck out here for the time being. Don't worry, though. We'll find a way to get ourselves past that gate. Pleasure to meet you, Bennett. I'll see you later. Away from the monitors, the atmosphere of the camp reasserts itself. Unfriendly glares, distant sobbing. You draw your coat closer around yourself and hurry back to your tent. Introduce yourself to the neighbors. The tents near you are mostly occupied by unfriendly, suspicious folk. They spit on the ground when you approach and ward you off with threatening gestures. There's one exception, however. A young woman who actually smiles as you approach, though her eyes are haunted and hollow set. Glad to see you feeling better. You were on death's door there for a while. I'm sorry, have we met? Well, no, you weren't exactly conscious. I dragged you to safety after you fell off your horse. So you're the one who nursed me back to health? No, that old woman showed up, told me she was going to look after you. I checked in and now and then, but she told me you were still recovering. Where is she anyway? I haven't seen her in days. She was gone by the time I woke up. I have no idea who she was. No idea. Let me know if you run into her again. I'd like to thank her. Will do. But wait, do you mean to say she's a relative of yours? How odd. Must have been just a kind-hearted old soul. Count your blessings. There's not many of those around in this camp. Aye, it's nice to see a friendly face around here. And good to meet you too. Name's Chev, short for Shavana, but my mother calls me that. She's been dead for years. She's painfully thin and covered in grime, much like everyone else in the camp. She's the first person you've seen smile, though. What do you imagine goes on in Eden Keep? I'm starting to forget what civilization used to look like. In Eden Keep, everyone eats like the Emperor. It's safe in there, Mass Kings. It's somewhere you can set up a shop, build a real business, not just parade by. You make it sound so easy. I wish I had a skill I could build a business around. All I know how to do is survive one day to the next. She lapses into silence. Somewhere in the distance, a scream rings out. Both try to ignore it. Do you know anyone selling materials I can use for my forge? I heard someone say there's a scrap peddler in the Lost City selling all sorts of things. Be careful if you go to the Lost City, though. That place gives me the shivers. Say your goodbyes. Before you can leave, Chev grabs your arm. There's a wild desperation in her eyes. I've been stuck out here for weeks, and not everyone in the camp is as friendly as you. Not sure how much longer I can last. Can you do me a favor? If you came to Eden Keep before me, find a fellow named Lucas Borodia. He's my uncle. If he knew I was out here, he'd help me. I'm sure of it. Of course, I'll let him know you're here. Thank you. She rubs her eyes. Look at me, getting my hopes up. Lucas Briona. Remember the name. Chev lifts her hand in farewell as you walk away from her tent. Her smile is as fragile as porcelain. Look around the camp. The camp is an appalling spectacle. An ocean of mud and flies, with gaunt men and women scraping a living amid the filth. Not far from your tent, Recent rains have swept away the soil on a mass grave, exposing glints of yellow bone. Only the rats are well fed out here. You climb into your bedroll, enjoying the rare feeling of a full belly. You offer silent thanks to Bennett Bonder and his clan before sleep steals you away. A new day has dawned. Ooh! A few hours past midnight, you're woken by a soft, silken hiss. A blade slices through the fabric of your tent. The fabric falls away to reveal a pair of gleaming eyes, a crescent of yellow teeth, a gaunt figure with a knife in his hand. He steps carefully into your tent, apparently thinking you're asleep. Behind him are the dim shapes of other men. Each night you bury your tool and your coin in a new location. There's not much in the tent they can steal, but they don't look like the types who will be happy if they don't find anything worthwhile. Feigned sleep. You keep your breathing steady, your eyelids barely cracked open. The intruder creeps closer, knife extended. Behind him, his companions whisper impatiently. You have a sword near your bedroll, hidden in a bundle of rags. Perhaps you can reach it before the knife finds your neck. Attack with the element of surprise! Oh no, you're fast, but the thief is faster. He moves like a snake, kicking the sword out of your reach as his knife blade appears at your throat, pressing just firmly enough to draw a drop of blood. Not so fast! Grab that sword, boys. Nice bit of loot. Now let's see what else we can find, eh? He nods to his companions who begin rummaging through your meager possessions. But they don't have any luck. Your coins and tools are buried beyond their reach. Where is your stuff? Tell us or I cut your throat. Stop waving that toothpick in my face. You think you can scare me, you scrawny runt? Yeah! The thief pauses, eyes flitting across your muscular shoulders and strong, calloused hands. He attempts a smile. Let's get out of here, boys. I think we picked the wrong tent after all. The thieves melt away into the night, leaving you alone in your sliced open tent. That'll require a few hours of stitcher to repair, but you're too tired to attempt it now. You manage a few more hours of fitful sleep before dawn breaks. These motherfuckers. Just play in her hand. The balance is perfect. When it comes, I won't hesitate now before I strike like a man. She pauses and lets the door becomes clear that she won't speak again. You know, a sword can only do so much. I heard it again last night, closer than ever. Let it come, I'm not scared. I need to get materials. I need wood and I need steel. Oh, I was granted the Mask King's protection. In centuries past, the city spilled beyond its ancient walls. Now the barrier which traces the wall's course has left these outer areas to the mercy of the wastes. Nicknamed the Lost City, these crumbling districts have been picked over by countless looters, but rumors persist that there is worthwhile treasure to be found amongst the rubble. Search the ruins for valuables. The Lost City's been endlessly picked over by scavengers, in your hopes of finding something slim but irresistible. Shards of rubble crunch underfoot as you trudge down empty streets. Sure enough, one by one, the half-collapsed shells of houses prove to offer nothing of value. A once grand library lies in ruins, doors hanging off the hinges. The smell of rot is overpowering. Search the library. The hammer beat of rain through the collapsed roof has destroyed most books, leaving nothing but black mold and waterlogged paper paste. You wade through shelf after shelf of ruined texts. Then you spot it. Wrapped in oilskin protected an alcove. You received Book Sword Essentials. For a moment you think you've lost your way, but then you spot a fountain you recognize. Its statue cracked and headless, its remaining water just a puddle of black slime. You breathe a sigh of relief. This is familiar territory. Seek out the scrap peddler. As night draws closer, the shadows of the lost city come alive. Hidden eyes watch from high places. You scurry through the ruins, feeling as small and vulnerable as an insect. Fortunately, the scrap peddler is easy to find. He warms his hands over a blazing fire in an empty market square, accompanied by a sad-looking mule pulling a cart. He is an off-putting sight. Most of his face is bandaged, but the exposed areas are a mess of festering sores and flaking skin. You dread to think what the bandages are hiding. No contagious, no contagious! Peddler points at himself as he shouts. One yellow eye peers madly at you through the gauze. What kind of malady afflicts you? Not contagious, I swears it. doesn't seem to fully understand your question. Taking a look at him, his disease looks like either leprosy or a terrible skin condition. Either way, best not to get too close. I have many things. I find them in the dark places. I sell to you. How did you find all this stuff? The dark places call to me. I find forgotten things there. He points vaguely downwards. The mule retches as though ready to expire. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm surprised no one has killed you and stolen your goods. Ha! I am good at hiding. If found, I cough and splutter and pretend to be contagious. The bad men run a mile. But I'm actually not contagious, I swears it. What do you sell here? Many things, much to be found for those who know. Can I see your work? Oh, it's too dark. The dark times for taking my favorites, not giving. Come back in daylight so you can see what you're buying, yes? Should come back to visit Scrap Peddler tomorrow during daylight hours. The option will be available from my forge. Bid goodbye to the peddler. Partners forever and always, yes? His rotten grin sends a shiver down your spine. Scrap Peddler's now available vendor. The sun slips low in the sky. The shadows of the runes like the time to leave. A bell tolls clear and resonant from one of the ruined towers. Glancing up at the skeletal spire, you see a solitary figure in a dark robe. Raising its hand in worship or surrender to the darkening sky, you quicken your pace. You hurry back to camp. Unlike the lost souls camped among these black ruins, you still cling to the hope of entering Keep. Ominous. Make your way through the lost city, the harsh daylight throwing the ruins into stark relief. The sound of your footsteps echoes clearly in the crumbling silence. At last you reach the Scrap Peddler Square, a rubble-strewn market plaza reclaimed by weeds. The peddler perks up at your approach, his one visible yellow eye widening with excitement at the prospect of a customer. I saved the prettiest trinkets for you, yes? I have some questions for you. Yes, yes? What's your name, peddler? That's right, I'm a peddler. Scrap's the game. What condition are you suffering from? Nothing wrong. My skin just doesn't like me anymore, I think. Do you ever go inside there and keep? God say no, so I make people sick, but lies. Not contagious, you see, not even a little bit. See anything strange in the rooms lately? The walls make songs, sometimes they do. A beautiful, sweet song for the sleeping. Men with candles sneak out here to call up things from the dark places. But the dark places are not so easy to call, and I could tell them that if they liked. The dark places do the calling. How long have you been scavenging in these ruins? Once I had a shop, a real shop with walls and a floor, then... He gestured at his bandaged face with a gurgling laugh. Now I have a mule. Mule doesn't care about face. Mule supports me through hard times. How long, you ask? 10 years? 17? How long does a mule live? I don't have any other questions. The peddler nods mindlessly, scratching at his bandages until something underneath dislodges. Survey his wares. The Scrap Peddler dances around excitedly, his bandaged hands fluttering, collection of mule riches pitiably. And goodbye. You nod curtly to the peddler, eager to be on your way. Tell your friends of me. Tell them I'm not contagious after all. I think he might be contagious. Now I've got the D. Now we can do all sorts of crazy stuff, I'm sure. might wait for a campsite grows as twilight turns to dusk. A wagon appears on the horizon, enormous bite wheels for you. Black armored guards sit atop the wagon, fierce-looking crossbows. If they spot you, you're likely to end up punched full of holes. But your luck. A child runs out in front of the wagon, almost ending up beneath its wheels. The wagon pulls to a halt as the guards shout at the boy, "Get out of the way." Stu walks. Make a dash for the wagon, but one of the guards spots you. There's no warning. He raises his crossbow and fires. The bolt strikes you squarely in the heart, knocking you out. Oh, see, there's a fail. Okay, good to know. Nice to see you again. I'm just enjoying my dinner. I'd offer you some, but I'm still waiting for my sommelier to pair the perfect wine. What do you know about the magic barrier run? It appeared shortly after the Sundering, right? At the same time as the Masked King took the throne? I don't know much more than that, sorry. Knight and his wife are nowhere to be seen. Old Gitta sits in her chair smiling vacantly, while the children stoke the fire and scrub out their iron pot. Clodo the dog trots up, wagging his tail at your approach. The oldest of the children, a boy with his twig-thin limbs and sour face, looks up from his work and glares. What did you want? Your parents. Trying to score some more food. As soon as we get some meat, it seems like you can't help but give it away to random strangers. He glares at you. It's obviously a thinly veiled accusation. It would have been too rude to turn down your father's invitation. The boy spits at your feet. Rude? I'm starving to death. I don't care about being rude. I didn't catch your name, kid. Sandra, back Clodo. The dog pushes into your hand, tail whipping maniacally. Leave the boy to his chores. The boy just grunts when you bid him farewell. Clodo runs excited circles around you as you leave and bounds back to resume guarding his family. Oh, so hungry. Thank you, Smith. I miss my steel at my side. This might even be better than my old blade. Hope this one lasts as long as that did. That thing carried me through the Sundering and all the troubles that followed. Give me the stuff. Whoa, what the f is that? As you bury your tools for the night, never can be too careful. You hear a heart-piercing scream. You find the camp in chaos. Figures run back and forth, knocking down tents, wailing and stumbling. The sun has just slipped below the horizon. Darkness begins to fall. As you search for the cause of the panic, there's a sickening thud. A corpse has fallen from the sky and landed atop your bonfire, quenching it instantly. Look to the sky. A winged shadow circles above, blotting out the emerging stars. It lets loose a shriek that turns your bowels to water. Identify the threat. The creature's silhouette is unfamiliar to you. It shrieks unlike anything you've heard before. You can only guess at what horrors this nightmare might be capable of. Some around the camp are drawing swords and trying to organize a defense. You recognize your recently forged blades among those waving in the air. The creature's first dive is repelled by blades jabbing at scything limbs, but it's too fast, too massive. It retreats to the air and then swoops down elsewhere, targeting other defenseless prey. Watch helplessly. It ascends on a fleeing woman, its jagged forelimbs plucking up the doomed soul. The beast ascends. A few minutes later, the victim's carcass splatters on the ground. Lead people to safety. You rush around the camp, but your shadow orders are lost amid the chaos. People don't notice you in your panic. At last, as more and more refugees flee for the cover of the Lost City ruins, the beast strays too close to Aaron Keep. The invisible barrier crackles, suddenly alive with pale blue energy. Fierce tendrils of power skitter in all directions like cracks spreading through glass, and the beast shrieks in agony. Chastened, it swoops away, finally abandoning its banquet. A terrible silence falls, broken by the occasional sob. At long last, it's over. Help the survivors. You wander the camp, reuniting the separated families and comforting the bereaved. Finally, once you're so exhausted you can barely stand, you stumble back to your tent and fall into a dream of slumber. A new day has dawned. Awesome. I've already added it to my wish list, but you should go ahead and do the same if you haven't already. This game looks like it might be a lot of fun, especially if you like this sort of stuff. If you like crafting and making things and like giving stuff your own personal touch. The controls are a little bit wonky. Won't lie there. And if you don't understand what you're doing at first, it gets a little weird. But it can be a lot of fun. I feel like there's some stuff I could have tried out, but I didn't. And I feel like I was only really starting to get to the tip of the iceberg, pretty much. But I recommend it. I think it's going to be a fun game, and I can't wait to see the full release. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the game. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!